Hello everybody. When I say rich, I don't just mean increasing your bank balance. Rich means typically two ways. Number one, yes, having more money, that is in turn increasing your bank balance, and also owning your time, that is you are time rich. And once you are time rich, you can actually utilize your time in whichever way you want. In this video, I want to share with you a few ways in which you can actually become money rich and time rich while you are still working in the job, and what can you do with the time so that you can utilize to increase your bank balance as well. So let's get started with the first point, which is money rich. And I'll start this section with a simple question. What do you think is the most important piece of paper in your entire career? In my opinion, it is your resume. Yes, your resume actually defines how much money you are going to make in your next job. And it gives you realistically a chance to negotiate once you crack the job, how you can go ahead and negotiate that offer with your current employer itself. And the most common thing that we hear with the folks who are already working is, if you are working in the same job for, let's say, even 2 years or anything more than that, you'll say, hey, it's been 2 years since I last touched my resume. You will only touch your resume when you are only looking out for that job. Please understand that for you to increase and optimize on your skills and convert into money, one of the best possible ways is actually having a most up-to-date resume. And you will say that, hey, I don't have time. Even if I have time, I don't know what to do with it. How do I get started with my resume? Well, I'll share a few simple tactics and please do get started there. A few days back, I made a video on how you can improvise your resume as a working professional. Please do check that out. In that video, I shared about Beam Jobs. Well, this is not a sponsored video from Beam Jobs, but you can go ahead, check that video, and also I'll give you the link in the description about what are the templates that are available on that website and how you can get started immediately. Once that initial friction is off, you can start building your resume with ease. I don't mean to say that, hey, go ahead and start immediately applying for that new job. You have to have an up-to-date resume so that you can go ahead, interview for the firms, and you realistically know where do you stand in the market. Can you command a 30-40% salary hike? If you don't want to leave the current job, then can you come back with that offer and negotiate with your current employer? It is important for all sorts of purposes to have an up-to-date resume. And please don't tell that, hey, I don't know where to start, because as I mentioned already, this is one of the most important papers in your entire career, and please do stay up to date. Now, the second way in which you can become rich is actually owning your time. And once you own your time, there are multiple ways in which you can use it, and we will talk through them. But before jumping into the second option, I want to share again a common complaint that a lot of corporate employees make is, I don't have enough time. I don't have time on a Friday evening, on a Thursday evening, Thursday morning, or even a Saturday or a Sunday morning. I'm blocked completely. Now, how can you start owning at least a piece of that time? One of the simple ways is using Pomodoro technique, and that is you block 15 minutes, 20 minutes of time intervals and do focused work without getting any kind of distraction, and you take a short break. And again, you repeat the same exercise, 15-20 minutes of sharp, laser focused work and 5 minutes of break. You continue doing this activity, your productivity will increase. Once your productivity increases and you complete your assigned task, then the rest of the time is something what you own. Now, the question then becomes, what do I do with my time? But before we jump into what do you do with your time, first understand owning time starts with improving your own productivity at work. Once you do that, a lot of avenues can be unlocked, and that is what we will discuss in point number 2. And then second point, once you unlock the time, is where you can start thinking about building something really cool. You might have that idea which you have been pending because you're not getting any time to. And how do you work on an idea? If you do not have a good starting point, and if you believe there is a great potential for it, I'm attaching once again a product brief template. Get started on your idea by writing a simple product brief. And why is this product brief and what is this product brief all about? Whenever you are getting started with the product, you need to know about and you need to put on paper what is this product all about? What is the problem this product is going to solve? And who are the competitors, what are some of the things that they don't possess, and what you are adding onto the table. Now, the interesting thing is you don't need to do all by yourself. If one of your family members is already working on these things, why don't you help them with a product brief? Why don't you start adding value? This value addition will come back to you. Whatever goes around will come around. So please don't think about, again, increasing that bank balance in the short term, but this is more of a long-term value creation game. And a good starting point for that could be writing a product brief along with your friend, family, colleagues, whoever that is, or by yourself. Before we jump into the third point, a quick shout out to our sponsors for the video, Odin School. While Product Brief can help you get rich in the long run, Odin School's data science program, by the way, which is a hot skill right now in the market, can help you get rich in the short run. In this bootcamp, you will learn from the basics of data science to the advanced AI topics under the expert guidance of industry mentors. This is not just about theoretical learning, but you will actually do 10 plus industry projects. If you go through the success stories, you will realize that a lot of folks used this bootcamp experience to launch their career in data science or even transition into data science. Once you complete this 6-month program, you will be eligible to apply for their 500 plus hiring partners. The placement support will continue for 2 years, where you will be having a lot of mock interview sessions, behavioral sessions, and so on. Go ahead and apply for the program using the link in the description box. The bootcamp is priced at 75,000 rupees, but there are EMI options and also early bird offers going on right now. The third way in which you can actually become rich, right, after you own your time, is starting with a side hustle. And yes, there are a lot of things that you can do as a side hustle. And where do you start? What do you start with? And how do you get that time, right? Once you go back to the Pomodoro technique, start increasing your productivity and then come back into this side hustle thing. And when you start a side hustle, there are 3 important things that you need to consider. Number 1, how much can you realistically earn? This is definitely not a replacement for your primary skill or your primary job. This is only an add-on revenue stream. How much can you earn from it? Number 2, how is the skill set that you currently possess related to this particular side hustle? If you have an expertise in something, can you utilize that expertise to go ahead and make more money? For example, supporting a few folks in the tech industry who are working abroad. You work with them probably 2 to 3 hours a day, and you can make probably 50 to 80,000 rupees every single month by working 1 to 2 hours a day, right? It's a good thing, but you need to know what is the skill specifically where you can add value. And the third thing that you need to understand when you are pursuing a side hustle is, how would you reach out to that network? Is it your colleagues? Is it your ex-colleagues, college mates, friends, family members, whoever that is? You need to know the right network. So before you get started with the side hustle, 3 questions that you need to ask yourself. Number 1, how much money would you make? Number 2, what is the skill set that you possess is actually used in this side hustle? And number 3, how do you reach out to the different stakeholders? It could be customers, it could be other network members. Please go through this video where I have talked about 7 practical side hustles which can actually help you. Just a quick request, guys. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do go ahead and subscribe. Only 20% of you have subscribed to the channel and the remaining 80% have not. It gives me great motivation to do these kind of videos, and I'm sure I'll continue to add value to you. Now, the fourth and the most important thing which can help you become rich once again is not to underestimate the importance of upskilling. And why do I say that? Because you need to ride the wave. If there is AI wave that is currently ongoing, you have to ride along with that wave. These are the industries which are riding the wave, and on them your typical growth of the salary would be much higher. I just made again a video on semiconductor industry and how that particular industry is actually riding on a wave right now. Now, why? If you're already working on a good job, if you're already making a lot of money, does upskilling make sense to you? Should you even think about upskilling? My answer is a very strong yes. Because if you look at the research report, one of the reports from BCG very clearly highlights that the shelf life or the half-life of any skill right now, specifically in the technology world, is less than 5 years. What does it mean? If the skill that you are using, very highly likely that it would get outdated in another 5 years. Then where do you start again? So understand that you need to continue upskilling even if you are at a great stage. Not to mention, just thinking about courses when only you are in the roughest phase of your life does not make sense at all. Just to give you a quick insight about how companies are thinking about upskilling. Accenture, for example, recently has acquired a lot of companies in the AI space. For example, Navisite. It's a digital cloud transformation company leveraging AI to conduct cloud transformations. And they have acquired this company. Along with that, 1,500 engineers who have worked on that AI platform are now being absorbed into Accenture. So for them, this is ready-made talent. If you want to be in that ready-made talent pool for companies like Accenture or for anybody for that matter, it is always good for you. Now you might say, hey Pavan, the situation is okay. I'm doing okay in my current job. I don't care about it. But I would say, if you are doing okay, fantastic and great for you, but still try to push yourself. Nothing wrong with that, and it could only help you. I hope these 4 ways make sense to you, but the underlying factor for all these 4 things is make sure you become time rich and you control the things that are under your control right now, which is making a good resume. Please go ahead, check on the links in the description box because I'm sharing some interesting study materials over there. Number 1, a product brief when you are working on a product idea with your friend or by yourself. Number 2 is a video on 7 side hustles which you can work on, and don't forget the 3 questions that you need to ask yourself while working on these side hustles. And the third one is the resource for you to build your resume to the best of your abilities. Thank you so much guys. See you again. Bye bye.